and I'm doing it. We're doing it. We're going to be talking about guns with the first name of James. That's going to be the focus of today's episode. So thank you guys for tuning in. We super appreciate it. Today we got Danny with us.
And
Danny,
I'm pissed.
Danny's pissed. He didn't even let me finish. I'm angry. Joe, how are you feeling?
I don't know. It don't bother me none with this subject.
It bothers me a little bit. I'm glad you asked me. It bothers me a bit. I'm a little upset by it.
No, nobody cares, Justin. Nobody cares that I'm upset either.
Jeez. All right. It's a rough beginning. I know I'm usually more enthusiastic when I'm saying, like, what's up, everybody? But then I sound like every generic YouTube person, like, alive. So I'm trying to stray away from that. So sorry for the lame intro. But here we are, guys. We're going to be talking about James Gunn and the firing of James Gunn. And then at the end, we'll throw in a few of the trailers that were released at Comic-Con and just kind of what our thoughts on all that stuff. But Danny is a huge trauma horror guy, and that's what James Gunn was kind of known for or did a lot of. So Danny, for the people that don't know what that area of horror is or what it means, I'm not going to say I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. Can you explain it to all of us?
Yeah, so it's I'm sure everybody's, at least, I mean, that's around like our general age demographic has heard of or knows who the Toxic Crusaders were, or the Toxic Avenger at some point. The green guy that looks like Sloth with a mop and a tutu.
Fair.
So that's made by an independent film company called Troma. When we were a bit younger, they landed like an actual like TV cartoon series, Toxic Crusaders, which was like an animated version of like their like breakout film. Yeah, it was pretty big, man. Like like our general age demographic. Some people may like some younger people may not, know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's kind of like
snappers.
Yeah, Troma was like back in the 80s, a huge, low-budget, based in New Jersey production company, started by Lloyd Kaufman, and James Gunn was one of his like right-hand man or something like that, from what I saw.
Yeah, so Lloyd Kaufman was a big proponent for like independent film, but he did a lot of like schlocky horror movies that were just like gross and weird and borderline like, softcore porn to a certain extent. So like that's like the fucking world that we're talking about this guy's coming from, right? Like he James Gunn was kind of fostered by Lloyd Kaufman, and some of the tweets that I even saw popping up and stuff, they were between the two of them, joking back and forth, right? So like, to long and short of it, Troma itself is just a small independent film company from New Jersey, and they make shitty, terrible horror movies.
Okay,
I like it.
All right, that was a pretty good brief description, and I didn't even know that they're based out of Jersey. They started in Jersey.
Yeah,
where we all live.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like some hometown heroes, most of the horror conventions that like anybody goes to, there's like some sort of Troma thing, or you know what I mean. Like there's someone representing it. There's usually a Troma table.
So Troma was a publisher. It was.
It says
it's a production company.
Distributor.
Yeah,
I believe it's owned by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Herz. I believe is the other guy's name. It's HERZ. They've like kind of like self-produced and funded and created. Dude, they jump started. Okay, so this dude's pretty wild, man. Like he started Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Their first movie that they ever made, a big production movie, was Cannibal the Musical.
I remember.
That's a Troma movie. That's a Troma movie.
Okay.
Mel Gibson, I believe so early on, I'm pretty sure they acquired the rights to a lot of like lower budget movies, like they needed international release that didn't have like they were kind of like the old school punk rock indie label of movie production companies, right?
Okay.
So James Gunn's like this new dude over there, like in like the it was like kind of like the I want to say like the mid to earlier 90s and later on. So like I want to say like 96 is when he kind of had his heyday, and he did a few things like between that, like between them maybe. And earlier, but really, like I think '96 is Romeo and Juliet. I believe that's when that came out. But he did a bunch of movies with Troma. I mean, we can go through the list in a bit, but like that's the gist of the world this guy comes from is the Toxic Avenger dude. Like, and Toxic Avenger is about a dweeby dude in a tutu, for anyone who's never seen it, that gets exposed to, well, he gets put in a tutu by these bullies and tossed into a vat of toxic waste and gets superhuman powers and winds up dating a blonde girl because she can't see his face, and he's kind of like a superhero. Wacky, weird superhero.
With a
I
mop.
remember all of that. With
Yeah,
a mop, yeah.
The bad guys in this run over handicapped people, elderly people, children, and they have a point system for it. It's like the original like type of like Grand Theft Auto type thing. Like these guys were doing it, and
So
this
like
is
ISIS.
no, they weren't actually. They weren't
Elderly
actually. So
kids, all
they weren't
that.
actually doing it in their films. In their
Oh,
films,
okay,
and their
okay.
writing. So
Not
these
in
were
real life.
these guys were putting on screen. You know what I mean? Like this is the type of shit that these guys are putting on screen. And this is pre James Gunn.
Yeah.
This is the world that this dude came from, though, dude. Like,
So the last movie I can kind of remember, like in that feel, like that genre. Do you remember the movie Hobo with a Shotgun?
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say that's the Trauma film. I'm not positive
Okay.
though. That was a little late. That was a bit later on.
That was definitely later. It
That's
was
after
definitely
2010. That's after
Yes.
2010. So James Gunn was a part of Trauma like much. I want to check that because that movie was funny as fuck.
Later. I actually like that movie a lot.
Is
Who's
it
the-
Trauma?
Who
It
was
might
the,
not be Trauma. It's not Trauma, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't see it on their wiki.
Who was it? That wasn't Gary Busey. Who the heck was that?
No, it's
Hobo
another
with
dude
Shotgun?
like that though.
Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun. I can't remember who it was.
No, it's not a Trauma film, believe it or not. But it's the
okay.
same vein of movie though. Like you're on the right track.
Like, it's in
So
the same
that's-
vein. Then.
That's the right
Alright.
state of mind to be in, though. Like the type of cinema, the type of like people that make these types of movies and stuff. Like, that's like the mindset this guy is coming from, right?
Okay.
So
Alright.
his tweets and stuff back then are obviously going to be around this genre where they push the limits. Borderline gross, like you said, borderline porn. This is like the quintessential 80s B movie with softcore porn in it. 80s
Yep.
horror B movie with softcore porn.
Yeah.
It is the easiest way I can say. James Gunn comes from that. He was trying to be provocative in trying to make his movies more known by being this provocative, funny guy on Twitter, I guess. At least that's what he says. And
It's what his fans would have expected of him, you know.
I
It's,
don't
Didn't-
disagree.
Danny, didn't you also mention something like the tweets? He was kind of going back and forth with someone when
Yeah,
he
it
was
was-
having these tweets.
It was with Lloyd Kaufman. If you find
The
the
owner of Trauma,
screenshots, yeah, it's literally a conversation between him and Lloyd Kaufman, and it's like if you
Okay.
know that the people, and like this isn't. Now we're not talking like they weren't making racist jokes. Like it wasn't like something that was like, I mean, like it wasn't something that was that needed to be completely torn apart, you know, and like even then it wasn't directed at anybody. And this is completely like separate, but like pertaining to the same topic because Eric actually brought this up to me, and because Eric has been upset, not about the situation because like she said some really shitty things, and I don't. It's just the whole Roseanne thing is that
Okay.
ABC knew who they hired when they hired Roseanne. I'm not saying that what she said or did was right. I'm not even like putting them in the same. What I'm going to do is I'm about to separate the two. Is what she said and what she did was racially and politically motivated, right? So she lost her job because she said some really fucked up shit.
In the
right?
now. In the now.
What in the now about people
Yes.
now? You know, what did James Gunn really do?
20
you know
years
what I mean?
ago.
What did he really do? What did he do? What did he say that was that like? And I saw what he said. I don't feel like repeating it because it's fucked up. But like
so
It is borderline.
So
not repeatable.
Here's
yeah,
it's not. I mean, granted. I mean, when you're typing something, I mean, how many times can we go back and we look in Facebook and are like, oh, time hop from like 7 years ago, and you look at the stupid thing you said or did, and you're like, wow, I was an idiot. Okay,
it's
I was an
cringy,
idiot.
dude. Sometimes I look back on the stuff that I did or said, and it's like I fucking cringe at myself.
I
You
can
know?
go back 10 years from now and look at this podcast that we're doing and be like, wow, I was really dumb.
Yeah.
But I mean, that could be said about anything. So the
Yeah.
fact that he's getting a bunch of crap for this, I don't know. What he said, yes, was not great, but it was apparently with another person that he was going back and forth with. It
Not
was in the
always.
vein of the movies they talked about. Oh,
Not
was it?
always, but some of it was him and Lloyd Kaufman. But you're
Okay.
you're
All
right.
right.
Like I just don't want to. I don't want it to appear like I'm saying that like it was all a conversation between him and Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
But I did see that as one of like the big chunks of an example because it's a little bit of back and forth banter.
Okay.
And like, if you know who Lloyd Kaufman is, like you would like, you know what I mean? It's. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Google.
I understand.
So
It's
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, moving forward. So he gets fired by Disney over these tweets from X amount of years ago.
Yes.
It's a different time for him then. But he got in bed with Disney. How come he didn't delete these tweets knowing that they were there? And maybe he could have avoided this a little bit. But once it got brought to light, Disney is a family-friendly company. Sorry, buddy. You got to go.
Okay. Is Disney a family-friendly company? Come on now. Walt Disney was an anti-Semite. Dude,
but he didn't
Walt
publicize
Disney
it. It's not publicized too much anywhere until you start digging into shit in his personal life.
But the internet didn't exist then, dude. We're talking about a child of the fucking 80s and 90s, man. This guy had the internet. There's a big fucking difference, dude. There's a big fucking difference. And the thing is their image, while it may be squeaky clean, dude, they make fucking weird jokes and they do shitty shit. Like, I love Disney as much as the next guy, but like, we can't fucking compare like Walt Disney's idea of a squeaky clean image to like what we have now. I mean, fucking look at us, man.
But then let's not compare them. They're two different times. And the same can be said for the tweets back then. It's a different time than it is now. However, he could have done something to prevent them from being found. He could have tried to delete them. Maybe they would have still came out, but at least he didn't even try.
No, so this brings me back to my point of that Facebook time hop stuff. So when you're going back and you hop on Facebook today, tomorrow, and you look at the stupid time hop picture that pops up from 10 years ago or whatever, and you're going to be like, wow, that was really embarrassing. Why did I even post that? Now, in your state of mind right now, what you're saying about James Gunn, would you really go back 10 years in your Facebook timeline and delete stuff?
Are you even going to look back then?
Well, if I'm getting a contract from Disney for X amount of motherfucking money, I'm going to make sure there is nothing they can find on my ass. Disney has done this to other people in the past. How is this not known? They did it to Roseanne just a few weeks ago. Disney owns ABC. And like you said, you can't compare the two. She did something in the now, but
it's not even something in the now. Hers was politically and racially motivated. He didn't say something hateful, dude. Even then, it's like he was saying he wanted to fuck Justin Bieber. Now, that doesn't mean that...
There was also stuff about pedophilia and baby rape in there and stuff like that. So there is, like I said, not to be repeated what the tweets actually say, there's some crazy stuff in those tweets. Now, mind you, I'm a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and the dude did a fucking stand-up job and whatever, but... I don't know if you have this past that you know is there and you know who Disney is, you got to try to fix some of that.
Yeah, but all right. So why don't we can we get to the movies to his history, because I'd like to go over some of the shit that he's written that's been released.
Mm-hmm. That you can't get rid of because it's on video.
You can't fucking get rid of it, and they hired him knowing this was his resume. This was his resume.
So thank you. You stepped right into my trap, buddy. They knew that's on his resume because it's out there. They should have done their homework better. That's what I was trying to get to. I can argue both sides at this point, but
I know you're a sick fuck too. I know you're playing devil's advocate. It's like we all say horrible shit. You know what I mean? It's the thing is none of the stuff that I feel, and this is my personal opinion. This is just my opinion. There's no foundation to this, but I don't feel like anything that he said was from the bottom of his heart. I think it was in the spirit of being silly and feeling comfortable in the company of the people that he was speaking to, whether it was a public platform or the people that were going to be reading it. I don't think that any of it was said in a hateful or mean-spirited way. Now, it's comparing something that's not necessarily comparable, but it's a similar situation with the Roseanne thing. Is like she said something hateful about somebody. You know, she said something bad about somebody that was like, it was hateful. It wasn't like in the spirit of being silly. It was mean. Mm-hmm. It was meant to make someone feel bad. Like the things that he said, like they weren't necessarily made to make anybody feel bad. Like maybe a little uncomfortable and squirmy, but like it was nothing to like, it didn't, whatever he said in any of it, no matter what I read, no matter how disgusting or uncomfortable it made me feel, I didn't feel like he said anything that was hateful or hurtful towards anyone in particular. He wasn't singling out someone and saying a horrible thing about them, like to like degrade what their personal image was. He was just saying something fucking dumb.
Yeah, they were really bad what's the word? Like
In the
dark
end,
humor, very
It was
bad
tasteless
humor.
dark
Tasteless
comedy.
humor. Thank you. Yeah, that tasteless
It
is
was
the word I'm looking for.
really dumb what he said. It should. I mean, yeah, that's really all I got. It was really just dumb what he said. And Joe's right. He should have, after nailing the first Guardians movie, he should have been like, all
Fuck,
right,
clean it up.
or even when people started to get in trouble for all this, which not even get in trouble. I mean, like people being accountable for the stupid shit that they've been doing, which they 100% should be accountable for.
So
I'm
after
not
this-
saying they shouldn't be, but he should have seen all that coming and then be like, all right, I gotta purge some shit.
And now that Disney did this to him and made this example out of him,
Mm-hmm. Well, now
look
you got
at Rian
Ryan
Johnson. Yeah, well, that's his name, Ryan Johnson. Rian Johnson, whatever.
Ryan, I
Who
don't
gives
know
a
his
shit?
Well,
But
You
there's,
might-
there's not just him,
Dan
but there's
Harmon-
other people too who are starting to do this crap. and
Dan
start
Harmon did
deleting
the same
stuff.
thing because he
Yeah.
had a joke in his Twitter history about baby rape and stuff like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
like people. Sometimes people say stupid shit to be funny. You know, it's the shock value. It's it's historically it's a historical type of comedy. It's not anything new. People saying things that are meant to shock you and then kind of make you giggle at the fact that you squirmed a bit. Like it's a type of person. It's for a specific audience. And I think just because you're expanding your career and you're moving forward with your career and you're doing new, big, and exciting things, you shouldn't have to abandon who you were before you got there. And like that's like something that I think Disney should have been proud of, is that like this dude is creative and he does some weird stuff. Like these things could have come to light and they could have stood by him and been like, it was a different time. He was a different person. He was a young guy. These weren't things that he meant to say. Like they could have went to bat for him and they chose not to.
Well,
No, they didn't. They kind of hung him out to dry. And I get that Disney was in a rough spot, and even Gunn actually is like, I understand.
well, he,
Like, I
he
get
took it
why
like
I'm
a
being
man.
let go.
Yeah, he took it like
no,
a man.
He explained himself,
Gets huge credit for taking it the way he did it. And
which
not-
I'm glad. I'm glad to see his some of his co-workers, coming to light and being like, he's really a kind, gentle person. He grew over the years. But another thing I want to touch on real quick is that a lot of stuff I've been reading, a lot of people are saying that it's politically motivated because of the fact that, James Gunn is kind of I hate using a word like Democrat and Republican because just people like target you when you say that. But he is kind of a progressive and forward-moving liberal type of mentality.
For sure.
And he started speaking up more and more about that. And definitely a lot of right-wing conservative groups started like really digging into his past to be like, all right, we're going to shut you up. A bunch of socialist justice, like keyboard warriors coming at him.
Yeah, but he's got a huge backing with over like 100,000 signatures on a petition, which Disney never really cares about anyway.
No one cares
to
about those
reinstate him.
signatures.
Yeah. But he does have a huge loyal fan base, and not just Marvel fanboys, but a lot of
Yeah.
other people. And
I was a fan of him before I knew that he was the one behind the things I was buying up and watching when I was a kid, dude. And that's like, when we talk about his film history, like I was a fan of him before I knew I was a fan of him, and then I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and I fucking loved it, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. So I want to hear Danny's film list. I just want to do a quick 10-second ad sponsor, little promo, because we're now sponsored by Logitech. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, we got all Logitech. I can't see the mouse. I got a Logitech mouse down here. We're not sponsored by Logitech. One of these days that's going to
But we
work.
could be.
We could be.
Hear that, Logitech?
That's on you, Logitech. All right, Danny. What's explain his film history, man? Let's go.
All right, so it's broader than this, and we're gonna go from like newer to older. And for the most part, mind you, James Gunn got in trouble for his writing. Let's focus on that. He wrote these tweets. These aren't things that he said. These aren't things that he vocalized to people. These aren't things that of course it's social media. He typed it in. It wasn't some other person. Like he did it. He said these things. These are mostly movies that he's either written or done the screenplays for, or written and directed. So the most recent one is the Belko Experiment.
That's him.
Yes, I've not seen it, but he
I
wrote
haven't
this.
seen it either. Oh, okay.
But I'll give you a quick synopsis. In a twisted social experiment, 80 Americans are locked in a high-rise corporate office in Bogota, Colombia. I hope I said that right. And ordered by an unknown voice coming from the company's intercom system to participate in a deadly game of kill or be killed. So, like, that's not as bad as some of his older stuff, but it gets worse as we kind of go back in time. Movie 43. Any of you guys see movie 43?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Not a good movie.
No.
I actually didn't mind it.
The bees. I it was okay. It was watchable. It was whatever.
Wolverine had ball chins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
That
He
killed
did.
it for me.
He did the Beazle segment. The one where it's like the animated cat. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
It's pretty. I'm pretty sure he's like obsessed with the girl and like wants to like bang the woman or whatever. So like here's where it gets a little bit like grittier and we start to like fall into like where I think like where he got into like his like real like kind of like higher budget like horror stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. This movie's awesome. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's called Super. I don't know if it's currently on Netflix, but it was for a while. It's starring Rainn Wilson, and Ellen Page, and Liv Tyler, and Kevin
Bacon. Yeah.
Bacon. It's actually a really good comic book type movie. The quick synopsis is, after his wife falls under the influence of a drug dealer, that's Liv Tyler and Kevin Bacon, an everyday guy transforms himself into the Crimson Bolt, a superhero with the best intentions but lacking in heroic skills. It's Rainn Wilson as the Crimson Bolt, and it's a really fucked up movie. It came out about the same time as Kick-Ass, so it kind of got swept under the rug, didn't get a lot of love. But it's definitely worth watching. I don't want to give too much detail because it's really good and there's a lot to it. It's fucked up though. You gotta have a kind of I guess a stronger stomach for it. Now here's where we get into some of like the fucked up horror stuff. He wrote and directed the movie Slither.
I remember that one.
If you never saw Slither, it's about space slugs basically. It's kind of like Night of the Creeps from the 80s. It's about space slugs that come down and they crawl into people's mouths and they turn them into different fucked up weird things. There's a scene where I believe a woman pops from eating a bunch of rats and shit. It's fucking weird. It's a small town is taken over by an alien plague, turning residents into zombies and all forms of mutant monsters. Now in 2004, James Gunn wrote the screenplay for the new Dawn of the Dead movie. Prior to that, he was uncredited as a writer for 13 Ghosts.
Really?
Now, yeah. Prior to that now is when we get into the trauma shit. And the trauma shit's like super fucked up. The older shit I think he did is less fucked up, but like I want to say it was like his prize piece out of like his trauma contributions was Terra Firma. Disney should have never hired him alone based on Terra Firma. If they ever saw Terra Firma in his film history, they should have never hired him at all. And these tweets are fucking child's play compared to what this dude wrote and put into Terra Firma. Now, Terra Firma is an interesting movie in general. It's about making a trauma movie, and there's a killer on the set. So the quick synopsis is a homicidal maniac is on the loose in the city, and a low-budget film crew of trauma movie has the power to stop them. In the movie, I put some of my own notes here because I saw this movie when I was younger. I think it came out in like 1999. I bought it on DVD when I saw the trailer for it. Like I think I was watching like Class of Nukem High 3, or it was one of the Toxic Avenger movies. Ron Jeremy's in it. These are spoilers. If you've not seen Terra Firma, just like plug your ears or something for a second, because like this is kind of important to the whole why I'm kind of angry about his firing. So at one point, Ron Jeremy eats his own pickled dick. It's about a transsexual who is like going around banging the different crew members. He at one point he sticks a funnel in one guy's ass and pours cocaine and beer into it. There's a part where a guy dies and someone eats a spoonful of shit out of the dead person's diaper. There's a scene where a woman masturbates with a pickle. There's a part where a dude gets sucked into an escalator and is just like pulling out his intestines like it's a slinky. There's like women free bleeding.
Fuck is free bleeding?
Google it.
Yeah.
But there's a part where the woman comes up with an axe and cuts open a pregnant woman's stomach and pulls out the fetus and unravels the umbilical cord and pulls the baby out. That's just some of the shit in Terra Firma. This guy wrote this movie. This guy wrote this movie in 1999. If anybody that has access to a IMDb page could have easily clicked on that, seen Guardians of the Galaxy, and checked this movie out, looked up Terra Firma and watched it because I'm pretty positive that Troma lets you watch any of their films on YouTube for free. So any kid could have gone to his IMDb, seen the title of this movie, looked it up on YouTube, and watched it. Coming from James Gunn. And Disney hired him before any of this Twitter nonsense. And they knew all this shit about him, and they knew that he wrote this shit.
So if they didn't read his resume, they should have.
Exactly. That's not so. It goes even further back. It's not as intense as that.
Hold on. First of all, I just Googled free bleeding.
Jesus.
I shouldn't have. I regret it. I know what it is now.
Don't do that.
And I just looked at images, and I don't know why anyone would fight for that. That just doesn't seem hygienic at all. But go ahead, continue.
Now we can unplug our ears?
Yeah.
All right.
So, prior to that, he did the screenplay and worked on Tromeo and Juliet, which was like a big hit for Troma, and that's why I think that Terra Firma was I think his follow up to that. They were like pretty big titles for Troma, because Troma, other than Toxic Avenger, they had like their heroes. They had like Sergeant Kabuki Man and stuff like that.
Kabuki Man.
And they had like the Class of Nukem High series, so there was other like kind of like breakout Troma movies, but like Tromeo and Juliet was a big hit, and Terra Firma was a big hit. Tromeo and Juliet, Tromeo, a filmmaker, falls in love with Juliet, the daughter of a former partner who tried to steal his business from him. Prior to that, he worked as an actor in Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4. Toxic Avenger must defend his friends from his own evil alternate universe doppelganger, the Noxious Offender. This has like Gary the Angry Dwarf from like Howard Stern in it, and like Corey Feldman. And I'm pretty sure he's like super fucked up on drugs in it. Like he was
real life Corey Feldman.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
He was in that movie, and then he was in they did a PSA segment for Sergeant Kabuki Man where he acted, and he played a character called the Insane Masturbator.
James Gunn did. Yeah.
James Gunn did all of these things. They were all recorded. They were all released. This was a part of his professional fucking resume when Disney hired him on.
Okay. All right. So James Gunn obviously had a very out there resume, and Disney definitely should have read into it. Is basically what we're getting from this.
Well, yeah, that's what that's
right?
my point of view after hearing this list.
There's no reason that this guy should have been fired over tweets when tweets are like sentence long little like thoughts that someone has and they say something stupid or silly. Like this dude fleshed out these films that we just talked about. He fleshed these entire films out. So they were revised. They were like very carefully crafted. He thought about the idea of any of those scenes that we talked about before in Terra Firma. Like he plotted that stuff out, you know.
So it kind of sounds like to me that it's almost like if you hired a porn director to, and I mean some like nasty German shit. Nothing against the Germans, I love the Germans. But some nasty like porn shiza stuff, and then you're like, listen,
hey, make Moana.
Bambi 3 coming out, and we want you to direct it.
And we want you to do
Bambi, and we want you to do it. I don't know if there's a Bambi 2. Joe would probably know more than I would. Joe, was there a Bambi 2?
Yeah, Return of Bambi's Mom.
Is that real?
No, it's not the real. I
mean, that probably is some sort of weird Bambi.
There's probably a sequel.
Like I thought Schwarzenegger was gonna play like Bambi's mom or some shit.
Yeah,
so I mean that's what it sounds like to me. Like they knew, they had to have known what they were getting into.
Well, so it's like I think I made this comparison before, not in this conversation, but I don't know if I brought it up to you guys. Or it was when I was talking to Erica. But like, I believe the movie was called Music of the Heart. Does anybody remember that? I think it's like Gloria Estefan and I want to say it's Music of the Heart.
Yeah, there's a movie called that.
Who made it?
Film directed by Wes Craven, written by Pamela Gray.
And it's like Meryl Streep or something, right? Or is it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it's who's the production company? Who made that movie?
The production company is produced by Susan Kaplan.
Who put it out? Who put the film out? What studio?
Miramax, distributed by Miramax.
Okay, so let's say it was like Music of the Heart was like a series, right? And Wes Craven signed on to do the first one, and it was a wild fucking hit. And then he does Music of the Heart 2, and it's another wild fucking hit. And then like he tweets some shit, and it's like, you better watch out, I'll come slice you up with knife fingers in your sleep. And then Miramax is like, wait a second, you can't say that, you're fired, motherfucker. And it's like, yo, I made like a billion movies about a guy who did this shit. Like, what do you mean? And they're just like, nope, can't do it. Gotta fire you over some fucking bullshit. And Wes Craven's like, I literally made Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you guys gotta do what you gotta do, but like, I invented the idea of Freddy Krueger, and you're firing me for making jokes about something that I filmed.
Knife fingers. So, yeah, you're not wrong. The whole thing is, I mean, what we can genuinely all take away from this, I believe, is, and we all agree on it. If we don't, then speak up. Is basically what he said was wrong. It shouldn't have been said, and if you did say, which he obviously did, then dude, go back and delete it. I like the second Guardians made so much money, you should have been like, okay, I'm filthy rich, and I should delete everything ever that I've ever said. Like, that should have been the first thing he did.
I agree, but what I think the big moral of the story is, like, if you got the funds, hire a fucking PR person. Just hire someone to fucking cover your image. You got money, hire someone to fucking figure that shit out and sweep it under the rug for you. Like, I mean, like, I don't think what he said was that bad, but good PR could have fixed this.
I mean, it was not tasteful, but how many other things do we see coming across Twitter and everything else that we're like, oh, I mean,
our president says worse shit. Our fucking president says worse shit.
I wasn't gonna go there, but you're right. You're right. I mean, you're not wrong.
With like the Me Too movements and all these other movements going on, all these production companies are scared on what's going to happen. And
they are.
Disney is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, that's why Gunn was like, no, I can see why you would fire me. Like, I get it. So, kudos to him on that. I hope he comes back as the
I hope he comes back and works for DC and actually makes good movies there.
Yo, as super as any indication prior to Guardians of the Galaxy what his potential with like a superhero character is, like, this dude's got shit to fucking do, dude. If he gets picked up by another studio, you can expect some boss fucking superhero movies if he gets put on the project.
The biggest thing with me is actually, it's not even like bring him back as a director. Like, yes, he did a very good job directing, but it's hard with directors because you can be like, oh, that guy just ran around with a camera and shot so much film. It really comes down to the editing at that point. Then you can be like, oh, wow, that guy's a really great director because you saw the final product of that movie. But that's really, someone in the editing room doing a lot of work and really showing off their skills. So my biggest credit to James Gunn in the Guardians fact is he wrote it. He wrote the screenplay. Him and a few other people wrote the screenplay, but he played a big part in the screenplay. So that's really what I appreciate and would miss from Guardians. So even if they don't bring him on as director, like, listen, we can't bring you on as director because that's like a bigger known title.
Consultant.
But if we throw you on as like a extra screenwriter, like, they could probably get away with that. No one's really going to go in and dig around and check that. And I think it could save face that way.
He did 13 Ghosts uncredited. He did 13 Ghosts uncredited. They're just going to give him some fucking ghost name.
I'd be fine with that. To just throw him money and let him do it. That's great. That might be also why he's not so mad about getting fired, too.
He's probably publicly getting fired, and he's probably still just going to keep writing them. He probably doesn't want to be, like, involved anymore, but wants to just write the movies.
So another big thing is actually, it's not a big thing. I don't know why I said that. But they, everyone's wanting a Taika or Waititi or Taika Waititi. I feel like I'm butchering his first name. I apologize. Yeah. But they want Waititi to, be the new director for Guardians 3 because he made, Ragnarok. Ragnarok was a hit. It was funny. It was a cool space opera type of movie. I just, Taika didn't write it. He didn't write the movie. He directed it.
It's not his vision.
No, it's not entirely his vision. I can genuinely feel comfortable saying James Gunn's vision was Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. Wrote it, directed it. I can't say that about Taika. Taika did not write Thor.
No, but he does. Even
he
outside,
ad-libs some stuff. He is funny. I'm not taking that away from him.
outside of the scope of fucking superhero movies for him too, man. Like he does some boss shit. I'm pretty sure he he piloted Moana. I'm pretty sure he did a bunch of contributions, and that's one of the reasons that fucking Jermaine Clement was in it. He did What We Do in the Shadows. I'm pretty sure he did Flight of the Conchords.
It was a great movie. He did do Flight of the Conchords.
And
he did a lot of funny stuff. Like he's a funny dude. But
that's important for Guardians, I think, is the humor.
So, but I mean, because I see that popping up all over the place. People are like, "Oh, bring Taika in." Like, yeah, you could, and it would probably be a very solid movie. But I don't think that's 100% complete of an answer. Maybe if you got Taika and James Gunn, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see that.
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and find out.
Or the entire Guardians 3 cast just quits, and they're gonna just be like, "All right, we're gonna make the movie about Adam Warlock," and then that's it. Skrulls and Adam Warlock.
And Guardians 3 never happens.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's gonna really hurt Avengers.
I think it would suck because honestly, seeing the Marvel Cinematic Universe going into the cosmos and space are some of my favorite Marvel movies.
Okay.
So, what do you like? Friggin' Iron Man 2?
No, I hate, dude. The only good Iron Man movie was the first one.
Oh, it's the best. I love Iron Man 2.
Nah, Iron Man 2 was terrible.
Whiplash. Oh, my neck. Whiplash. I got whips.
Speaking of movies, and we'll wrap this James Gunn thing up. We can, like you said, we all agree it sucks he got fired.
Yes.
Danny wants him back.
I'm pissed.
Doesn't think he should have been fired, period, because this was all well-known knowledge.
It was.
So, yeah, anybody want to add any last thing before we move on to anything else?
Don't hire Stephen King to make a fucking kids movie and then fire him for being fucking scary.
All right. And we'll end it on that note.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
San Diego Comic-Con just ended last weekend, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And they released a shit ton of new stuff, including Funko Pops and movies. And I know, Justin, over there, you're a little excited. You want to continue, then?
I'm very excited. I just like trailers. I still go to the movies early so I can watch trailers.
I do, too.
I will watch trailers on my phone to go watch trailers and then watch the movie. I'm not really that bad. I don't really do that.
No, I spend more time on Plex watching trailers most of the time than watching the actual
I have the trailers set up on my Plex. It drives my wife nuts.
I love it.
I love it. Watching trailers. I'm like,
pre-roll.
Pre-roll. And I'm at the movie. I'm like, all right, I'm at a little home movie thing I got going on. So I love that stuff. So Comic-Con, I always get very excited because they're the new trailers for the new stuff that's coming out. So we got Shazam.
Yeah.
Which looks interesting.
I think it looks funny.
It looks funny. It looks like it could be very funny, and I think that's a step that DC's trying to take because they saw what Marvel did, and they're like, hey, they're pretty successful with that. Instead of Batman slaughtering 800 people and screaming Martha, we got
the same mom.
But his costume just looks.
His costume is terrible looking.
So dumb. I'm sorry. It looks
his
so.
Chest
it looks like a tiny head
with a huge.
He's got
chest.
a tiny head.
Yeah, but it's Eddie from It that's playing the little sidekick friend in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, Billy.
Still, costumes. The costume is on point with as far as it goes with the
with the red and the lightning bolt.
Yes.
I mean, that's all it really ever was.
Well, it's the costume has changed. It used to have a weird golden sash and stuff like that from the old Action Comics, but his costume's on point as far as the look goes. But the fake muscle suit that he's wearing and the tiny head, you gotta CGI that or something, man. Fix it.
It's really crazy because the dude who plays Shazam, the guy Zach Levy, who was also the voice of the dude in Tangled, the Flynn Rider, and he was the dude from Chuck. He was the main dude in Chuck.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the last season of Chuck, he was pretty
Oh,
jacked.
that's him.
Yeah, that's Chuck.
Oh.
He was pretty jacked in the last season of Chuck. It's like you really didn't need to do that much to make him look.
Maybe he's actually that jacked, and we're like criticizing this dude's body, and we're body shaming. We're body
There's
shaming
no
this
way.
jacked ass dude. We're like, you look weird. You got a tiny head, motherfucker. And this dude's just gonna bust in your house and knock your fucking head off your shoulders.
Hey, well, I'm
As long as he
fat
fixes,
talking on the
as long as he
radio
fixes
over
my
here.
TV too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, but I don't. It looks like a muscle suit. It looks like a muscle suit. And he's got a tiny head. I hope he's that jacked. I hope he's just as super.
He just gotta work on the traps. He's gotta fill that neck out.
Yeah. Well, that's what looks weird because you look at like it's like like it's huge, and then like right here, it's just like there's a sinkhole happened, and it's just odd.
Everybody talks about people missing leg day. This dude missed fucking neck day.
Yeah.
Every day, no neck. And it's like not no neck where like your head sinks down. It's like there's just no muscle there, and everything else like.
It looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume for the most part. But a very well-made Halloween costume, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's the route you want to go, you could say that for pretty much anybody in a superhero costume because people usually wear superhero costumes on Halloween and in movies.
Listen, Batman's costume is dope.
Which one?
Yeah, it has like the nipples on it and stuff.
Yeah, bat nipples.
Yeah, it's like
Nipples.
bat nipples.
So the other thing about the movie, real quick, is it looks like it is going to take place in the current DC EU. As you can see when
There's a
the
batarang.
kid from It, I forget his name, Billy Batson's foster brother, orphan brother, I don't know how you would put that, opens the drawer and you see the Batarang, and then you see the newspaper clippings of Superman and all that stuff. So that's cool. Hopefully it's a little bit lighter side coming to the dark DC EU.
There's one
So
other
that
thing.
should be
There is
pretty
another
interesting.
problem I have with this before we move to the next trailer, and that's the fact that the kid who turns into Shazam, Billy
Yes.
Batson,
Billy Batson.
is like, "Hey, I don't know anything about superheroes. Hey, kid, guy, brother, foster man, teach me about superheroes. You know all this shit." It's like, bro, you don't see what's going on in the news. You don't. I mean, it's all over the place. How do you not know anything? So that kind of bothered me a little bit. It's
But
like,
hopefully that's stuff they can clean up or they clarify. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was locked in a cage for
Until he got
10
adopted?
years. Yeah.
yeah.
And they're like,
Right.
stay in your cage, Billy. And then he came out and he was like, oh my God, the light.
And
so,
Superman.
who knows?
All right.
The other trailers we got was
And Aquaman. I'll help you a little
Aquaman.
bit.
How did I forget that? Yeah,
I didn't see
Aquaman.
the Aquaman trailer.
It's bro. It's completely bro movie.
I'm okay with it. It looks dope. I'm okay with the bro movie. The visuals look fantastic. I like Jason Momoa. I know he's a bro Aquaman.
Momoa.
But what are you going to have? You're going to have bro Aquaman
Yeah.
or Aquaman in some like Speedos riding a dolphin and
Yeah.
I mean, those
Yeah.
are
I
two
want Baywatch
Yeah, but then
Aquaman.
but
I want
you're talking-
Baywatch
you're-
Aquaman.
You're talking about the whole Shazam thing being like, well, it's like they're bringing a lot of lightheartedness, and then it's like, but I like the Jason Momoa is fucking jacked as shit, yo, and he fucking looks crazy, and it's like, but Aquaman, like,
They're trying to
Little
steer
feminine.
away from
little speedo guy.
well, that's what they're trying to steer away from. And I mean, even in the comics in the new 52 series, Aquaman's like a jacked badass dude.
They can
So-
make him badass, but he's like too broy about it. Like, yeah,
It's like if you fucking crossbred the Little Mermaid and the Rock.
He
I'm
is
still
definitely
going to see
very
the movie.
broy about it, but the movie looks dope. Black Manta looks amazing. The costume they have for him, I think it could end up being one of the better DC EU movies.
They need it to be.
I feel so. Why is it called the DC Universe movies?
DC
EU. It
Extended
sounds
Universe.
weird.
Yeah.
It's like the
Well,
European Union for
I was just about to
DC
say,
characters.
yeah, it sounds like Brexit's gonna happen.
No, yeah, it is. That's real. That happened. Batman drank his tea and he punched the queen.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I,
It's gonna be the cover of my new album.
I'll still throw money at the movie, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I don't know. I'll fucking watch it. I mean, like,
I'll throw money at it. I'll watch it, and I'll probably like it. Maybe I just have a man crush on Jason Momoa. I don't know. He's cool as hell. He could be bro. I'd be bro with him. I'd be like, hey, what's up, bro?
What's the?
That's how the
and
conversation
then
goes.
you guys would start Eskimo kissing and get pimples on your nose.
Yeah. Really, dude, it's like right around here.
what,
It hurts so bad.
So
Not
for anybody listening, we made a joke before because Justin and I have identical pimples on our nose right now, and I made a joke about Eskimo kissing.
Hurts. It's not fun.
They were just both picking their noses. Anyway.
Yeah.
Just right
what
there.
So what
Yeah,
other
hi,
trailers
Internet.
do we
This
got?
is where my pimple is. We have Gaijira. Oh God, was that?
Yeah.
I feel like now
Gojira?
that's racist.
Godzilla?
That was politically incorrect. You're fired.
Really?
You're fired, motherfucker.
I'm sorry, I can't subscribe to any Godzilla stuff. I don't like any of it.
I like Godzilla. I like
No.
Godzilla.
All right, so Joe, can I actually get rid of your Skype window right now? Because I don't really want
I'll leave while you talk about this. That's how much I don't care.
But what about Mothra? What about
Yeah.
Mothra? What about Mechagodzilla?
I can literally see you in the window.
Yeah, I
drinking
see you.
Whatever you're drinking.
I still see you.
All right,
Got
it's
that
over, right?
LaCroix.
You guys are done talking about it?
We saw you drink
We
LaCroix,
actually
Joe.
saw
We
you
could see you in the window.
Has
Oh,
this
the
episode been
reflection
brought to you
behind me?
by LaCroix. Delicious seltzer drink.
It is yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yummy. I'm
Claw.
I do got to put something over this at some point. But
Actually,
we're
I'm
still
probably
testing all this video recording stuff.
I'll
I'll make it as cool as your
yes.
place.
Still trying to get this whole scenario down. But Godzilla, dude,
King
I'm
of Monsters.
pumped.
I didn't see this yet, but I'm
You got-
Is
down.
Matthew
You
Broderick
got
in it?
Rodan, you got Mothra. I'm gonna send you some trailers after. So when
Good.
we're done yelling and screaming at each other, I'm gonna send you some trailers. You're gonna watch them, dude. It's got Mothra in it. It's got Rodan. You got Godzilla, and this all links back up with
I love Mothra.
Skull Island, and all that. So I don't know, man. It looks pretty dope.
Huh?
Pretty
I'm
happy.
into it.
hmm
I'm into it.
Sure.
I like Godzilla. Godzilla's cool.
I like the Blue Oyster Cult song.
Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Oh no, Godzilla.
Yeah, that's it.
That's probably racist now too.
Yeah.
They still play it live.
There's a lot I
I mean,
remember
I'm
watching as a kid that would not fly today.
No, well, I mean, like that's like what I was saying about Disney. Same thing with Looney Tunes. Like they all did some fucked up shit. I'm gonna go fire them. Yo, at everybody, fire everybody. I'm just gonna go to work and be like, "You're
Bugs
fired.
Bunny, you're fired.
You said
Dumb.
something
Daffy Duck,
shitty 3
you're
years
fired.
ago. I don't like you
Fired.
anymore."
Elmer Fudd,
So
you're fired.
what other trailers? I feel like I'm blanking. We had
is it?
Shazam, we had Aquaman,
Godzilla,
we got
Aquaman.
Godzilla,
Kazam with
Kazam.
yeah, with Shaq.
Mhm.
They're remaking that with Shaq again.
Are they really?
No. But
No,
I thought, dude, you just like broke my heart. I thought you were serious. I was like, I was kidding. Are you serious?
no, I would love that to happen
It's not
too. Fantastic Beasts, Crime of Grindelwald.
oh right, Fantastic Beasts. Johnny Depp is looking weirder and weirder as time passes, but it still looks like a cool friggin' movie. I like the last one.
That's the sequel to Downton Abbey, right?
Yes. Yeah.
See-
Yeah. Queen Victoria shows up.
And Batman punches her.
And then Batman punches Queen Victoria. Yeah, I personally really enjoyed all of the Harry Potter movies, and
I did too, but
I
the
don't know
first
how to feel
Fantastic
about that.
Beast, I
but
didn't like.
I thought,
I didn't even watch it yet. I had every intention of watching it, but I didn't watch it.
oh, dude, watch Fantastic Beasts.
the only-
It's really
No, it's not. But the only good thing
It's
about it
really
is Dan Fogel's in it, and
Joe-
he's the
Joe
man.
hates
Dan
life.
Fogel is the man.
From Balls of Fury?
Yep, ping pong.
he's in it.
He's the best
So
part.
watch the movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah, you know it's good
It's
that he's in.
Niffler, the
It's-
little.
It's him in Fanboys, right? You ever see Fanboys?
No, I didn't get to see that. Was that good?
Yeah, I like Fanboys.
That's like they're going on like a Star Wars like trek through the country or whatever.
Yeah, their one friend's
Who's that?
dying, and it's when the prequels were first coming out, and like it wasn't released yet, and they try to break into Neverland. That's Michael Jackson.
I don't think anyone wants to break into.
Yeah,
there.
no, they're trying to break into George Lucas's estate and watch like the early screening of it. And like it's just that whole trip.
Okay.
Are we only talking about movie trailers? Because I'm looking at the list, and there is a million trailers.
Like what?
I'm just. You want me just to read them off, and you stop which ones you want to talk about?
All right,
on.
go.
I got to scroll back up.
Go.
So,
go,
what was the last
go
one we
now.
talked about?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain, Fantastic Beast, Glass,
Fantastic
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't
Glass.
talk about it because you'll spoil it for people who haven't seen the movies. Watch Unbreakable, then watch Split, and then watch the trailer.
Okay, 'cause
I mean, if you saw the trailer for Glass, then
Don't watch it. Don't watch the trailer.
I didn't
you're gonna
see
know it's
any
happening.
of those trailers. I didn't see any of those movies either. Roswell, New Mexico,
God, you're the worst.
Predator, Night
Predator.
Flyers.
Oh,
Titans.
Predator 2?
Yeah, well, it's a remake.
Well, Predator. Is it a remake?
Yeah, it's just called
Well, they did
Predator. Let them
Predators.
fight.
Well,
The rebooted Predator will arrive this Halloween.
Oh, is it a reboot? Why? Why are they rebooting? Why not just continue?
Who cares?
Because they did Predators, and I think they're doing something different. It's like a different take on it.
Yeah, but there's so much lore you could pull from with the old ones. Whatever.
I thought Predators was good too, though. The one.
I mean, Adrian Brody.
I thought it was. I like Adrian Brody. He's pretty good.
I'm not even a quarter of the way through the page.
What else you got?
Night Flyers.
I don't know what that is.
Titans.
Doesn't matter. Titans.
Titans, the Teen Titans, but it's only called
I'm
Titans.
talking about like movie trailers.
That's
not
what I'm
some
saying. Doctor Who, Disenchanted, Young
future-
Justice,
Oh, these like
Deadly Class,
shit.
Mayans, the
yeah.
Dragon
Oh,
Prince, Star Wars:
right.
The Clone Wars is coming
God.
back. Rise of the
Now-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was so stupid. Adventure Time, the finale, The Purge, Supernatural season 14, Origin, Star
I'll
Trek,
see
The
The Purge
Orville,
again.
The Walking Dead
like-
season 9,
I'll watch The
Fear
Purge
the
again.
Walking Dead, Iron Fist season 2, Riverdale season 3, Marvel Rising, and now I'm about halfway through. I'm done. That's it. I'm not saying no more.
All right, those weren't movie trailers.
I asked you if you want a movie trailer, just
Listen.
trailers in general.
Listen, I wasn't listening to you.
That's fine. I wasn't even listening to myself. I was just reading nonsense off a screen.
A lot.
So, is there any other trailer you'd like to talk about, then, there, buddy?
I enjoy the trailer to Footloose.
Got
I like watching it.
There was
Sometimes you just gotta dance.
what did you mentioned one of the movies that looked sounded good.
Let me
Flashdance.
Crap. No, it wasn't Flashdance.
Flatliners.
No shit.
The Purge.
Read the list again. Go.
A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story.
I hate
Young
that.
Justice. Disenchanted. Doctor
It's
Who.
good.
Titans. Night Flyers. Predator.
Other-
Doctor
we're talking
Who. Young Justice. Mayans. Star Wars. Roswell. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Adventure Time, the finale. The Purge.
What's that?
There's a trailer for Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja
It
Turtles.
looks like a very poorly animated Powerpuff Girls
Wow.
turn into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Keep going.
They got big eyes and everything. I just went through all this. Adventure Time, The Purge, Supernatural, The Origin, Star Trek, Orville, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Iron Fist Season 2, Riverdale
right.
Season 3.
Yeah, so we're good.
We're
Yeah,
Gucci.
real quick. The Walking Dead sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, we can keep going.
It used to be great.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, before they even made Season 1.
Season 1 was
so-
okay.
I liked season 1. I thought it was cool.
I never...
Walking Dead sucks.
It had its moments. I
2 points.
yeah, no, all those I mean I watched all the TV trailers, most of them that are coming out. Orville, I loved the first season of, so I'm pretty excited for the second season. Joe, watch more TV. I know I shouldn't say that like
I don't
to
have-
anyone ever,
Well,
but watch more
fun
TV.
fact about Joe don't have TV.
Joe has TV.
Joe does not have TV.
Joe has all of our Plex accounts. So Joe can literally watch anything.
On my cell phone, maybe.
Figuratively watch anything. I've been to your house. You have like 400 TVs. Like every corner I turn, there was a giant TV.
Yeah, I do have a few
Just
TVs.
rich. Listen.
Super rich with
Yeah.
no curtains on my window.
Yeah, don't let that fool
I'd
you.
apparently spend money on TVs, but no curtains.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but who the fuck needs curtains?
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
you're
when you're
like-
on like a 22.
You're all well. That's
second
because you're
floor of a
on like
high-rise
the
building.
40th floor in
Yeah.
New York, so you don't need curtains.
Anyway,
Yeah. So, listen,
I'm listening.
that's all I got.
That's all
All
I
the
got.
trailers were the trailers were pretty dope. I liked them. I enjoyed them. I don't think James Gunn should have been fired. I think there should have been a stern like talking to. I don't think it called like that. Like I don't think he should have been like
Like
let
Sonic
go.
the Hedgehog?
What do you? Yeah. Or like in Jurassic Park. What's his face? Yeah.
Dennis.
And he sets
Newman.
Yeah.
Newman, and he sets the friggin' like virus in Unix. How the heck he did that? I was more impressed that little girl's typing through Unix commands in Terminal. I'm like, yo, are you serious? It's like, she's better than me.
Hack the planet.
Cheers.
She's like,
Would've been
I
great
took
if it
a,
was
she's
just
like, I took a
hello,
word
world.
processing course once.
Yeah. Where's MS Word on this thing?
Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, she's a genius.
she's all we got. She's gonna get everything.
Yeah. Good. Yum up.
So yeah, that's my take on all that. What do you guys think, Danny? What are your final opinions on everything?
Final thoughts from Danny.
I got lots of opinions. My final opinion about this whole situation is that Disney needs to nut up.
And he's going to go see Shazam.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
Shazam. I'll enjoy it. Joe, what do you got?
James Gunn needs to come back because I probably won't watch Guardians 3 without him. And I'm going to see Shazam and probably Teen Titans Go this weekend.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. That's what we got. Are we good to wrap up this whole thing that we do?
Sure. You want to give out all the tags?
I mean, most of the tags are on our website, so if you could just go to nerdcaster.com. I am not going through the list of all those tags. Normally we would have them scrolling on the bottom or something like we did the last time we got together, but OBS was being a bit of a pain, wasn't working very well. So once we get that all figured out, just go to nerdcaster.com, go to About, check out our bios, check out our gamer tags, friend request us. The more the merrier. We don't care. Eventually, I would like to go ahead and get a nice Discord chat set up where people can just message us and we can go back and check stuff and, try to answer questions, but also reach out to us, ask us questions. We have no problem getting back to you.
I do. Talk to me. I'll tell you. Shut up.
Don't talk to Danny.
No, I'm just kidding. But shut up.
We all have jobs. We're all in technology, so even if it's like a general tech question, by all means, shoot it to us.
Yeah,
we'll try our best. Yeah.
I only charge $175 an hour.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like 25 cents an hour. I mean, I'm not too expensive. Those are my thoughts. That's what I wanted to say. Check us out. Give us a 5-star review. Always like everything by us. As Joe has stated many times, he does not like negative feedback.
I don't.
You can drop things into my mailbox and just, say I look terrible.
That's not true.
I smell like poop.
I don't mind negative feedback as long as it's critical thinking and not
constructive, like negative
you're a
feedback.
piece of shit. I don't need to have people tell me I'm a piece of shit. I get told that every day by the people I work for. So
just at work.
Positive, negative. You talk to me, I'll tell you to shut up.
That's
so to elaborate more on what Justin said, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdcaster, on Twitter at nerd_caster, on Instagram at nerdcaster, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Twitter, Google Play, Stitcher. And now Spotify. We are on Spotify.
Yeah,
so
Spotify's a big one.
if you didn't like any of that other crap, but you have a Spotify account, there's no reason you can't find us on there.
And Google Podcast. Subscribe to us.
Yeah.
So download Google Podcast. Look at Nerdcaster. Look for Nerdcaster. Subscribe to that. That would be awesome. That helps us out tremendously. And also, just one last thing before we all peace out of here. This episode was brought to you by this little guy, little Loki. Look at him.
Little Loki.
His little bobbly head. I broke him. His head's like sideways now. I don't. It's fine. So, listen. Just subscribe to us, like us, love us, do all that, yell at us. I don't care. Just get us out there. Tell your friends. Tell your pets. If your pets can, if they're that smart to download stuff and listen to us, that'd be fantastic. And also report that to the news because that would be like a new great finding. So do all that. We love you. Goodbye.
Nerdcaster out.
Peace.
How do you stop this thing?
Stop button.
Oh, God. It keeps
up
going.
top
It
on the
keeps going.
taskbar. It's like a circle with a stop button in it.
Oh, hey, learning new things every day.